Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back on your screens. This game we will be having Vicious and Delicious in the semi-finals up against Gypsy Crew. Who are Gypsy Crew, Cret?
Well, Gypsy Crew has a few players that we might recognize, but let's tell the story of how they got here. So Gypsy Crew, they've played 2 games so far today. They beat out Radiation Gaming, and then they beat out Blacklisted. Now, Blacklisted, how they got to the quarterfinals, they beat out Team Colors, and then they beat out Complexity. Like, Complexity.
And when you beat out Complexity, we were like, oh, I guess Blacklisted will make it through to the semis to face off against Vicious and Delicious, but Gypsy Crew come out of nowhere and fly the flag for their own team here and straight into picks and bans right now. And you can already see Circuit Vulcan banned away Vicious and Delicious, ban away El Kwong here. However, Kwong we don't have a picture of because he's not very photogenic. Giannis also taken away by Gypsy Crew, and it's over to Vicious and Delicious for what they're going to pick next. Thor's available. What would you go for here? Would you?
Oh, man. I guess Sylvanas is fine. I'd probably go for Thor. You know, speaking of Ao Kwong, though, I do want to mention when Blacklisted beat Complexity, Weekend was 17-4 and 13 on Ao Kwong. So it was not a fluke. It was not a snowball. They turned it around. I mean, if you want to go back and watch any game from the tournament, that's the one to go for. But, you know, Gypsy Crew beat out Blacklisted. They're a very strong team. Players you might recognize, such as Too Many Apples, Flawless 22, Penyemba, who are high-ranked North American League players, and we'll see what they've got against Vicious and Delicious. Certainly, they should be familiar with each other.
Well, this is a one-shot tournament, and as always, on the line is some cash prizes. 4th place gets 800 gems, so not too shabby either way, even if they do lose. However, right at the moment, you know, there's potential for cash for all these players involved, correct? And Gypsy Crew, Apollo and Carly picked up, so they know what they're doing here, but the double healing composition looks like it's been picked up by Vicious and Delicious here. They're hovering on Ra right now.
That's actually kind of a lot of healing if you want to include the rewind. Technically, rewind is not a heal. It is not reduced by healing reduction effects, but let's be honest, it makes your health go back up. So Vicious and Delicious could have a lot of potential to reset fights, and they're looking at Thor instead for now. Gonna lock that one in. So Ra and Thor for Vicious and Delicious. Gypsy Crew, they've got their Kali, and Flawless 22 is pretty good at that character.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what they choose next, because they're going to have to deal with Raw in mid or solo lane. They've got a Thor in the jungle to deal with. Will they look for a support here? Try and get their pick after Sylvanas has been taken away before the caravan phase? Because I expect Vicious and Delicious will try and take something away in the support role. Let's see what they choose, because at the moment they're taking a very long time about thinking about this one, and it looks like they're going to go for the relatively safe Noir.
Yeah, you know, I think that's definitely a good pick. Can definitely hold her own in mid and apply a little bit of extra pressure just to help get that Kali going. Counterban phase. Now the question is, what do you think they ban?
Hunter?
Okay.
See, the Hunter Pull's kind of weak now. I don't feel the Hunter Pull is that important anymore as it
Well,
once
also,
was.
does Snoopy even really have a god pool?
That's true. Well,
I like that ban.
Yeah, I agree with the Herc ban. It's a really good decision to make. We saw Hercules last game. It was a bit of an issue. Sasik played that very, very well. And everybody in the COG family seems to have fallen in love with Hercules. I'm not sure why. I think they had private training time with DM or something. And
probably.
He made them all realize what was going on.
If you're going to let Herc through, Kali is definitely decent to do it against, at least if you can get her to late game. Herc can definitely punish her early game a little bit, but that's a different issue. So that's going to be the Hercules and the Geb taken off the table, and Athena hovered on Lockton will be the support for Gypsy Crew.
I like the Athena pick just because of the global presence they've now got with Apollo, Noir, and Athena all on their side. They've got nice opportunities there. Rama's going to get locked in by Vicious and Delicious, though. They have Thor with that global presence as well. And the next pick, question, looking for a solo lane. That's an early Osiris pick before you know what you're against.
It is, but I mean, how bad can it be, right? There are not that many options left open. If it's a bruiser, Osiris will be fine, and I don't really see any good mage picks. I'm probably forgetting someone, but, you know, it's up to Gypsy Crew what they're going to play, and I don't I can't think of any obvious counters to Osiris solo that are left available.
There's not monstrous amounts. I mean, the honest thing with Osiris and how he's played out is that the biggest way to deal with an Osiris is displacement skills, such as Vulcan Meatball, such as Anher Impale, ones that can displace. So, with Vulcan not being available, with Vulcan being taken off the table, Anher, you're not really going to want to solo him. It's not Game Hunter, so Fenrir going to be locked in instead. So it'll probably be Fenrir in the solo up against Vicious and Delicious' Osiris. It's a matchup I've not seen for a long time. Fenrir versus Osiris solo.
I mean, it could be Kali solo, possibly, but Fenrir versus Osiris, I feel like that's actually kind of in Fenrir's favor if he builds right. His steroid, his 2, is so strong that he's probably, and I know people throw this term around a lot, but I think Fenrir is actually probably the best boxer in the game just because of how good Seething Howl is. You get nearly 100 physical power and over 50% lifesteal from one ability that's got pretty good uptime as well. So you can build full defense and still be good at boxing. You can get one lifesteal option and be able to solo Gold Fury at like the 10-minute mark, or solo a Fire Giant, duo a Fire Giant. So there's a lot going on with Fenrir that can make him very strong, but in practice, he often isn't.
Well, there are your teams on paper right now, guys. Vicious and Delicious up against Gypsy Crew. The semi-final on the way shortly. We'll be right back as these guys load into the game. We'll bring you all the action straight away. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Game underway on your screens right now will be Vicious and Delicious up against Cognitive Red. Cognitive Red are going to be... Sorry, not Cognitive... Vicious and Delicious up against Cognitive Red? That's me being stupid. It's Vicious and Delicious up against Gypsy Gaming. I apologize.
Yeah, Vicious and Delicious up against Gypsy Gaming, and So Gypsy Gaming has done well so far in this tournament. They were able to beat Blacklisted, who beat Complexity. By proxy, they beat Complexity, right? I really want to know how they're going to do in this match, and they are actually using the interesting strategy of running a solo Kali.
In this game. Guys, we'll be right back in a minute. We're going to cut to a very quick break as we've got a bit of a technical issue going on here, so just bear with us 30 seconds. We'll be right back on your screen. Welcome back, boys and girls. Apologies for that small delay we had there, but right on your screens now, like we said, we'll see the game starting off, and already you can see Vicious and Delicious. Like Ionix keeping an eye out for an early invade on this right-hand side.
Yeah, and actually on the left-hand side, it's not really going to be any pressure coming out from Vicious and Delicious here. You know, there's some starts where you maybe can test the mid-camp or maybe get a little bit frisky and do the back harpies, which it actually looks like Vicious and Delicious is planning on doing, but they've waited long enough that there's no really good response from Gypsy.
Yep, nothing's going to happen. But what do you think about this Kali solo? How's this match going to play up against an Osiris? That's the big talking point now. Kali solo up against Osiris.
Honestly, I think it's fine for Kali. She might have some trouble in the actual man fight, right, in the boxing match, but Lash is really underestimated clear. It's going to allow her to get through the wave fairly quickly, and she has a hand in the gods just for safety as well, so I don't foresee too much trouble after the solo duo phase.
Solo lane reached their equal times, but it looks like Fenrir and Kali got the initial push off. Minions are in about the same position right about now. In the left-hand lane, you can see Apollo and Athena have put the early push onto Rama and the Sylvanas, but that lane will push back momentarily once those wisps start coming out from Sylvanas as well to help push that lane in. And mid lane, generally stale as you'd expect at the early stages.
Well, you know, in the middle lane, Nuwa versus Ra, and actually an early level 3 going to 2 many apples, giving him a slight push advantage, but if Wubba uses his beam and his heal properly, he should be able to have control of this lane, as 2 many apples just doesn't have as many clear options after hitting level 3. Rotating out of the solo lane is Ionic on Thor, and leveling his Berserker Barrage, so we're not going to see the big hammer hits until later on.
They're just going to soak a wave of experience in mid lane. Look like they're going to rotate for the red buff here by the angle they've gone for. Fenrir is here as well. But the collapsing from Sylvanas and Rama, 4-man invade from Vicious and Delicious. And it looks like Gypsy are just going to give this one up. They're not going to try and contest. Probably for the better unless they're going to 4-man defend.
Well, you know, Ionic did get the red buff with his team, and now There's a little bit of a standoff between Too Many Apples and Wubba here. That minion not gonna pop, missing the Shining Metal, and Fenrir just jumping back with the heal. Should be able to sustain up and be fine. Taking a look at the soul lane, honestly, it seems to be going pretty well for Flawless 22, who should have a clear advantage right now.
Yeah, he's put the pressure on right now. As you see Wubba and Ionic going into the jungle to take the speed buff down, that will make them level 5. Meanwhile, Fenrir is going to be a little bit slow on hitting this level 5 himself. Going to look for the left-hand side to go and gank. But already you can see that Snoopy and Jeff have backed up enough in this lane. It's going to be a bit too difficult to try and find a pick, or will they?
Well, they've got a Fenrir here, so it could be something, but there's no ultimate. Rooted out, brutalized will connect, and Jeff has no good way to interrupt it. It's just not enough damage onto the Sylvanas.
Thor's up. He's going to look for the dunk down. He is level 5 now. Going to look for that Fenrir, who's going to jump away. The pull was good, but he stopped the rest of the damage coming in from the rest of the team. Now you can see Ionic jump to his hammer to try and get the Berserker barrage off. Still, he stands tall, does that Fenrir. Wubba's looking for a snipe over the wall, but look where Too Many Apples is. He's followed him all the way in. Gets a bit of poke back and try to force a disengage out here. Wubba's still looking for a snipe.
Yeah, it didn't find it. Did get disrupted just a little bit. Oh, maybe. No. Okay. All right. That was close.
Yeah,
it was close.
It was
I
semi-close.
saw him moving directly towards him, and I was like, "Is he gonna?"
Good rotation from Too Many Apples, though, just to make sure Wubba couldn't get anything for free. Mid-camps, though, do look like they're both going to go in favour of Vicious and Delicious. Wubba going to rotate to mid lane and get some pressure onto Too Many Apples here from behind. But both mid-camps go in favour of Vicious and Delicious, plus the early invasion onto the red buff. They're going to have the early game advantage.
Yeah, they've got a nice little golden experience lead. Now, it's 1,000 experience, 500 gold. Doesn't seem like that much, but at the 4-minute mark, it's a nice little advantage that can give you a bit of extra control. Over in the solo lane, Flawless 22 has finished combat boots, and level 6, equal with Sasic, just really wants to focus more on clearing than fighting for now.
It should be very difficult now that they've both got almost for either of them to really die in this situation. Both got obviously Sassy's got the leap away. If he needs to, the Tether should reduce the damage, and then you've got Carly with her ultimate. If she does get caught out of position, she can obviously just pop Destruction.
Sitting at level 7 though, Kali will have a massive clear advantage because at this point her Lash will, if she does it properly, if she hits all 3 on the melee and all 3 on the archers, which you can do by standing right in front of the melee minions, it will full clear the archers and she can clean up the melee with autos. And there it is.
And now Fenrir's going to rotate over, but he's going to step on a ward, so Sasik will step away from this lane one more time, just back himself up. Blue buff's available right now in the solo lane for both these two, and eventually we may see Ionic go over there, but at the moment Ionic's doing the blue buff over the left hand side, going to soak up some extra experience there. Once they get a slow start from Vicious and Delicious, they've got an advantage, but they're not going all in to try and get the win very early.
On the left-hand side, Ionic does have that blue buff, and will actually be recalling, looking to how much golden hand. He's going to finish off his warrior Tabi now, and that's a really important power spike for Thor. Early game Thor is about 2 things. Your global ults, obviously, and riding your power spikes. You've got the pen boots, rank 2 of Jotuns, rank 3 of Jotuns, and then whatever item you finish after that. And if you gank on each of those spikes, you can be very, very powerful.
Well, he does have his ultimate available now. Keep an eye out for his rotation. If you can find a pick, he'll go for it. That red buff on the left-hand side is coming up soon. But big gank from Fenrir. Mid, good pull in onto Ionic. But Ionic may be able to get away here. Jumps to his hammer in time. No, he does not. He's going to fall down. That's really nice from Gilara. Also, Apollo's coming in with the across the skies here. He's actually going to dunk down to Snoopy. He needs to watch his positioning. Going to back out immediately with the moves. That was a really nice pick.
Yeah, Ionic just sort of walked from lane into the jungle and was like, I'll be fine, and then he got Fenrir'd.
Well, they were looking for the red buff. Yeah, he just got picked up by Fenrir, and Fenrir went, well, okay, I'll pick you up. Didn't have beads, you do now, and you'll learn your lesson more than likely.
Looks like he has. In the middle lane, Too Many Apples is going to have a little bit more room here, and left mid-camp likely will go to Gypsy this time if they can keep their presence up. But rotating out of left lane is your boy Jeff Hindla, and I don't know if you really want to come up behind your opponents as Sylvanas, honestly, because it's just kind of an awkward position to be in.
I think that decision they made there was good because Ionic was doing the speed, so he could have ulted in to actually force an engagement there, 3v2. But it's a good decision coming out from Gypsy just to give up the left camps and go for the right ones. I guess they realised that themselves. But they're going to get collapsed on from mid lane by Ionic and Jeff Hindler. But we do have Athena on the backside here, going to land the taunt to Ionic. Galari's going to get focused for a second. The nice burst damage coming out from Too Many Apples, and straight away Fenrir jumps in looking to try and pick up Ionic. That ultimate will from Too Many Apples, and the fight continues on. But that fight for Gypsy's going well so far. Rama's up though, sniping. Can he find the kill? He can. Snoopy's going to get some extra damage down. No, he's not. The root lands onto Flawless. The snipe does not connect either, but Sasic wants to continue chasing.
Yeah, they're not going to find any more kills here, but they've got pretty good map pressure and potentially could rotate for the Gold Fury. They do have their Raw heal back up. They've got the Wisps as well, but looks like with Sasic returning to the Soul Lane, they're just going to opt for lane pressure. Mid tower should drop fairly low as Vicium might have some trouble clearing it, and Soul Lane, well, it's even more pressure. Sasic's going to get a lot of free farm here.
Like we said, Gypsy did beat Blacklisted, who beat Complexity, so they must have something up their sleeves. And right now, it's 2-1 in terms of kills, and the Golden Experience is relatively even. They've just Sentry Warded the Gold Fury as well, so they're in a pretty good position going into this one so far. Not scared to have a little bit of a skirmish. They gave up some stuff early, but Ionic's misplay kind of put them into the driving seat for this. But left-hand side, Ionic's looking for an ultimate. There's a Sentry Ward down, and now Athena's in a lot of trouble. She's actually trying to ult out immediately because she knows Death is coming, and Death already connected before she could jump away using that Defender of Olympus.
Yeah, now Vicium in a lot of trouble. Great wall there, and well, Snoopy can shoot through creeps with those Astral Arrows. Now currently sitting 3-0-0. Despite Ionic being 0-2, it looks like Snoopy is prepared just to win this game by himself. Though he could be in trouble. No, just going to pick up Jeff instead, pull him into tower, but there are minions there. The tower will not aggro onto Jeff. He is rooted out. He will be stunned. It's not enough to get the kill.
Well, the double heal with Wisps and the healing blessing as well coming out from Wubber. Going to be a disengaged Carly, rotating all the way over with Osiris as well. So both the solo laners turning up for this one right now. Are they looking to continue this fight? It looks like they are, because Athena's coming in with Defender of Olympus again. Doesn't find the dunk damage. And now with 4 members plus Apollo, they cross the skies. They're going to go for a fast Gold Fury here. This is a good call from Gypsy, because I don't think Vicious and Delicious know about it. And if they do, they're going to be a bit late to the party though. Too late to the party.
They knew, but they were way too late to the party. There's just so much damage there, and able to kill that Gold Fury right quick. Now heading over to the middle lane, going to push that one in, and likely just head back to their lanes in general. Kali sitting at level 10 in the solo lane, does have Pen Boots and Death Toll online. Going into Chin's next, and then I think into a Witchblade is what he does. I think he goes Pen Boost, Chin's, Witchblade, Fatalis.
Well, they're going to take away the blue buff right now. Sassy's going to turn up here, see 3 members here, going to try and steal it away. I think he actually managed it. No, he did not. Flawless got that one. Ionic going to find a good wall. Double tap does connect. Berserker Barrage does not, however. That's going to disengage with a nice steal away. Mid-camp's coming up, and both supports in position for the left ones. We'll see who gets them.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be Jeff in there. He doesn't have too much ability to kill this camp, but Webb is going to rotate over and help him out. One of the more annoying sides of Sylvanas is he's not great at solo clearing buff camps, but in the middle lane, Ionic, level 9, and he's going to actually just try and catch up Vicium here. They're not going to go for it. They're going to let him go. Yeah.
He juked that out quite nicely, didn't avoid the wall, and that just left him alive for the time being. 3-3 in this one. Gold is an advantage of Gypsy Gaming right now. Experience still even relatively between these two teams. It's only a small gold lead, but a gold lead is a gold lead. Advances builds a little bit more, and it's really good game from Gypsy Gaming. They've got a good chance in this one.
Yeah, I mean, they are ahead in gold by basically a Gold Fury. In all other respects, this game would be even, and now, what do you think? Do you think? Okay, no. Here's what I want to ask: who has control of the game right now?
I think it's still even. I don't think either team has control of the game. It's going to depend on how Ionic and Fenrir play this one out. Fenrir's going to go into Snoopy talking about that. Uses the Ragnarok, just brings it into the team and brings him down with the damage as well. Even Nuwa getting it in there with the assist as well. So nice work from Fenrir once again. And like I said, it's going to come down to Fenrir and Ionic, I feel, on this Thor. Whoever's going to bring this one forward for the team.
Yeah, definitely. So one thing I do want to mention in the solo lane, we do see Kali going into a Chin size. Osiris can actually go into a Witchblade, so building for defense right here, and Flawless is actually doing a nice job of pressuring Sasic. Level 13, up about 400 gold there, and he's got nice lane control.
I like Static's build right now because what he's trying to do, what he needs to deal with is Fenrir and Carly in the later stages of this game, correct?
Yeah.
So he's got to be on the front line, he's got to be the tanky one because the Ionic's going to come in and out. Jeff Hindler, though, going in deep, going to get a 3-man ultimate spin to win onto too many apples. That's a lot of poke damage onto him, but he's still surviving. The dot's doing work. One auto should be enough. No, the snipe does not connect, but Thor's going up. Ionic really wants this kill. He's going to find it, but can he get out again?
Well, Thor just has so much mobility in his kit, and with Tectonic Rift coming back up, he should have been able to get out. Now, Apollo's ulting over is so late. There just really isn't anything he can do here. A little bit of healing coming out from Sylvanas, and that's going to be a continued push on the mid tower. The siege potential from Vicious and Delicious is amazing. They've got 2 healers to heal them up. Well, more like 1.5 healers to heal them up, and then they've got that root into pull combo, so there's constant threat. Nice beam coming out. Snipe is not available, but Ionic needs to get out of there, and he will.
The double heals helped him out a lot. But it was a good defense overall coming out from Gypsy there. They managed to keep that tier 1 tower online. However, left-hand side, they're now losing some to Rama, but here comes Carly from the back, and they've got to look for Jeff here.
Well, Flawless does some pretty good damage now. New ultimate coming through, but Lord of the Afterlife is connecting even harder. It looks like the target's going to be on Athena. Will be able to get out with that defensive ultimate. Left-hand tower does go down to Snoopy. Now, look, Vicium has no mana. Snoopy has complete control of this duel. He's up a level in terms of items. He's up 3 stacks, so this should be a kill.
Should be a kill. He's going to actually take to the sky to find the snipes. One does connect. Second one through the fog. Lands it, and even finds a third onto too many apples as well, who hits him with a stun at the end. But Snoopy should be able to get out. Nobody's here to defend. Sorry, to rotate round, rather. And that was a really nice pickup from Snoopy overall. I think Apollo just needs to play this a little bit more carefully. That's the only thing I'm seeing issues with this Gypsy team. Apollo's ultimates have not been on par, let's be honest. He's ulted in very late 3 times, and then he rotated to that tower and he was already dead and got himself in a world of hurt.
Well, the other thing I want to mention is you've got an early Divine Ruin with cooldown boots out from Nuwa, which means Divine Ruin is a bad damage item. You're picking it for the utility, and cooldown boots you're picking for the utility. So this Nuwa is really lacking in damage right now.
Oh, mid lane, Ragnarok onto Sasek. Sassek's going to take a lot of poke from that, but he should be quite tanky for now. Can he survive? Good ultimate from Jeff Hindler. So now she's going to try and turn this one around across the skies out as Thor comes in onto Ionic. So you can see Fenrir just get away, but this guy's Vetium, this is the play he needed to make, and it's working out for him this time round. Jeff's in trouble too, but here comes Snoopy. Carly's on the backside as well, and Snoopy might get caught out.
Yeah, I mean, that was just great job respecting Snoopy's rotation. It did look like a free kill onto Jeff Hindler there, but Vicium knew a little bit better and was able to reposition in time. Potential for a Gold Fury if Athena gets there in time, but they kind of want to win this 2v2.
Sentry Ward fight goes on. As you can see Nuwa actually ulted there. They're going to force in. Athena's going to ult in too. This is going to be a 4v3 scenario here. Flawless is on defense. A good blink from Jeff though to stop the collapse. He's trying to get in there, but he's taking a lot of poke for that from the Brutalize. They're focusing onto Jeff Hindler, not letting him get that Gold Fury snipe. Connects onto Flawless, but the Gold Fury once again goes to Gypsy Crew. They're doing a really good job this game.
I love the way they hogged that. It was jungle and solo lane hogged, and then support hog. So it goes from about 40% to 25% to dead. It was really good play.
Really fast, really precise, and Jeff Hindler didn't have a chance to steal that one away. He got executed the moment he came in. They turned their attention to him before dropping it down any further than it was at. 7-5 though right now. Gold lead of 3,000, experience lead of 3,000 as well in favour of Gypsy Gaming. They're really starting to bring the pressure back onto Vicious and Delicious.
Well, I mean, you know what I was mentioning earlier with the Divine Ruin, the cooldown boots, and then the heavy hammer on Fenrir? Lots of utility pickups, not really the most efficient for damage, and that's not a bad thing, it just is a thing. You have to play around it, and Gypsy is. They're using their utility, which is so cool to see.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job for themselves. He might lose this tier 1 tower mid. Fenrir's going to be here, but he needs to watch himself because there's 3 members there. Uses the random bomb, but who's he going to pick up? He's going to pick up Wubba, who immediately gets out of it. And now he's Snoopy rotating as well with the tower aggro. It looks like Fenrir could die here. 1-0 will be enough. The tap does not hit. He manages to jump away. Fenrir's, the snipe from Wubba though. Onto too many apples. He was kind of standing, staring, looking at the fact that he thought he was going for Fenrir, but he didn't. And now they continue pressuring mid. Athena's going to watch herself. Apollo's here, but he's got to deal with 4 people.
Yeah, Snoopy here as well. Level 15 is definitely the biggest force for Vicious and Delicious, even though he hasn't really hit his power spikes just yet. He's going to be on the finish of this Executioner, might put him far enough ahead. Executioner finishing up is such an interesting power spike for ADCs, right? Because sometimes it doesn't really feel like it does anything, and sometimes it feels like the strongest boost in the game. It just depends on how far ahead you are in terms of experience and other stuff.
Right inside, you see Athena collapsing in, but already Sasic backs away, knowing something is up in this area. He's still trying to find a play here, but they know it's going on right now, so Sasic stays away. Nuwa ulting again, preemptively here. I guess she was expecting a gank onto this Osiris, which is not going to come. They're trying to bring down this tier 1 tower. I think the only issue I can see coming out from Gypsy Gaming here is that they need to get control of their tower defense a little bit better than they currently have.
Yeah, but I think that's more Vicious and Delicious doing a really good job orchestrating attacks. But speaking of orchestration, in the middle lane, Ionic forced up in the air will be bursted down right quick, and now they're going on to Jeff Henla, picking him up, holding him in the Apollo wall, and then holding him for a little bit more. But Snoopy did unleash some pretty heavy damage. There's just unfortunately no follow-up. Waba too far away, and Sasic all the way over in the solo lane. But Kali with Chin Size, it's not a free duel for Sasic right now.
It's not. Well, it's a 2v2 kills for 0 trade in favour of Gypsy one more time. You can see too many apples rotating around this side, trying to look for an opportunity to get onto Sasic, but not going to find one for now, so just back away. It's 17 minutes in. We can see, you know, on the scoreboards now, all the kills pretty much coming out from Vicious and Delicious are onto Snoopy. He's on 4 of those kills right now. He's in a good position, got the Executioner finished. Apollo across the way, 2 and 3. Also has Executioner finished. And we're going to start seeing out of Osiris' next item coming as that Witchblade is now online. And the one thing they've got to be careful of here, I feel, correct, is that Gypsy don't go too hard on Sasic because he is building the tanky defensive route.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to get over aggressive on one of those defensive bruisers. Waba, nice Aegis there, will immune a lot of damage, and the root out from Jeff Henla. It's going to be a nice taunt. They heard the Thor. They're trying to disengage, but they're not disengaging well enough. The wall is not going to connect. The snipe won't either. Too many apples up in the air. Flawless trying to buy some time. He will be knocked up. He's not taking that much damage yet, and still does have his Kali ultimate. Sasic chasing out the Kali. Doesn't ult in time. Big mistake from Flawless, but the Athena ultimate will kill Ionic, and now in the mix, Fenrir and Athena, too many apples, trying to come back in, waiting for cooldowns. No, really just going to disengage in the middle lane, though. Snoopy giving chase to Fenrir. Fenrir has so many escapes, he should be able to get out.
I don't know, because the path he's taking, he might lead him to trouble. He's trying to dodge the snipe, dodges the second. Can he dodge the third? No, he cannot. He walked into it. Snoopy picks up the kill on Fenrir. That was a nice trade backwards and forwards, but it looks like we're seeing Vicious and Delicious come out on top. They're trying to pressure mid now. Snoopy is in the background. They've got a minion wave coming as well. It's a 4v3 scenario. What can they do to defend?
Well,
just gonna back up.
They did it.
Okay.
They did it.
I thought
they defended Hindu, man.
I thought they'd push on that. Nope. Okay. Mid camps. Let's go. So mid camps gonna go over to Vicious and Delicious to winning position.
I guess they just felt that Gypsy Crew had sufficient wave clear there with the new Wa and the Apollo that they didn't want to try and push in, as they would have had to tank the tower and things could have gone bad from there.
Like, they had wisps and they had healing from Ra. Like, I was like, okay.
But no, but Nuwa has a fog and the Divine Rune. It's a little too easy to apply on the team attacking the tower. But honestly, that fight went completely wrong with Kali not hitting her ult in time. That's just all that happened.
Very true. The disengage from Gypsy was good overall. Fenrir nearly got out of trouble, but walked into Snoopy. But now God Fury is back online, and you can see Sentry Wards are the prime delicacy for the supports to try and clear out for themselves. Both trying to get control of this right about now, and it should go in favour of Gypsy Gaming in a second as you see Athena dropping down that Sentry Ward there for herself. They have control for the time being, and already you can see pretty much that both teams getting ready for the fight here.
And Kali showed up on the right-hand lane to just create some pressure, and now is rotating to the red buff. Will probably be able to steal that away. Hand of the Gods is down, so he has to reset it. Getting one side minion, so at least a little bit of experience. It's about a minion worth of experience, so lane minion. But yeah, I don't know. Vicious and Delicious, despite being down in kills and down in gold, it feels like they're still in the driver's seat of this game.
Does feel that way relatively, and it looks like that's what they're looking to do now because they're looking to rotate left for Apollo. But actually, no, they're not. They're going to put a ward down in Sasic, and Nuwa's going to use her ultimate preemptively for this fight. Divine Ruin applied to the whole team here. They're all stood inside that heal, but that heal's now on cooldown as well. It's going to be interesting to see if Athena goes for a taunt here and tries to force a fight. Kali's still farming in mid. She's going to wait till the last second to go in, but blinking from Jeff Hindley. He's the one that went to engage. Great mez though coming up from Ventium to stop that opportunity coming available. Sasic trying to chunk down Athena on the front line. Bit of a messy fight. Ult from Jeff Hindler comes out. Thor now takes to the sky straight after. Still no one's getting relatively low, but Flawless doing some good work to Snoopy, forcing out the ultimate onto him. Veti on the backside though is the one that gets evaporated by Snoopy and Ionic, and now the fight continues as Gypsy pops that Ragnarok.
Yeah, Gilia on the way out with the Ragnarok, but not moving fast enough. Now Penyemba on the right-hand side with too many apples. Is Flawless 22 fighting a 2v1. He could win this. Interrupts Snoopy out of the roll, finds the kill, but does not ult in time yet again. Gotta be on tilt.
Sasik's in a bit of trouble here. The good wall coming up from Ionic, followed by the snipe, and the Celestial Beam will help bring down 2 kills. Deicide going in favor there of Vicious and Delicious. That's going to be a fire giant. Although they're relatively low, they do have the double heals of Jeff Hindler and Wubber available to them. What a turnaround. Well, not really what a turnaround, but it was really surprising how one side of that fight ended up going.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost a good turnaround from Flawless, but he's got to be on tilt. He missed his ultimate twice.
He's playing hard mode. He's playing hard mode. He's playing hard mode Kali.
No ult Kali.
No ult Kali. No ult Kali.
This isn't Dark Souls. This is not a good idea. Wubba will die to the Fire Giant. It's just Ionic and Zastic. They might not be able to get it. Oh, they don't get it. And now... Oh, okay, he's going to reset the Fire Giant. Jeff still gets it.
Jeff goes in like a hero.
Zastic has Fire Giant. Look at him. He has Fire Giant.
What's it worth, though?
Did it go on to Snoopy? No, it didn't. If it had gone on to Snoopy and it needed about a second, it would have been worth. But honestly, that individual play from Jeff Hindler was worth it. The play as a whole was not worth it. But Jeff Hindler dying to secure that Fire Giant and stop Gypsy Crew from potentially getting it was absolutely 100% an amazing play.
Well, they do lose a tier 1 tower as well. They're going to lose some pressure in Midland. Might lose a tier 2 here. Going to focus for Sasik. No, they're not. It's Snoopy who's going to get taunted, jumped on by Fenrir as well. The Brutalize going to follow him through the roll, and that should be a dead Snoopy as the mouth of Ragnarok comes out to chomp him down. Tower's going to fall for the tier 2. Raw back online, as is Jeff Hindler. So now they're able to defend for now, but Gold Fury is the threat.
All right, let's talk about how powerful Fenrir's base values are. Because he jumped, attacked once or twice, then brutalized and Ragnarok, right?
Yep.
The way he's building with a Frostbound Hammer and Executioner, his build really did not help him do that at all. That was literally his base values from being a level 17 Fenrir. That's kind of crazy.
Well, 120% scaling on Ragnarok, you've got 50% scaling on Brutalize, and then, you discussed Seething Howl earlier on as well, correct? He has a lot of damage in his kit, he's just trying to get in range to do that damage is the biggest issue, without getting exploded.
Well, and the thing is, late game, if he goes into crit here, he's going to be the strongest boxer on the map, and this is including the fact that there is an Osiris and a Kali, but that lifesteal is just incredible.
Oh, Gold Fury's now down, Fire Giant's now down, only Sasik, the only member of and Delicious who has that online, so the game will relatively stale out and be a bit stagnant for a few minutes. Even the mid harpies are down, so everyone will pretty much farm up. No war coverage on the map either, so it'll be a little bit slack. 2,000 experience still in favor of Gypsy, and 5,000 gold lead as well.
Yeah, just because the Fire Giant went down, there's essentially nothing for either team to do right now. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. What are we supposed to talk about now? Like, we can't even discuss what potential things could happen because there's nothing to discuss because everything's dead.
Warding. We can discuss warding, and speaking of which, Jeff did just place a ward. So this is actually really high-level strategy here, even though it seems a little simple. It's just
placing a
putting...
ward.
You put regular wards on the outside of the Fire Giant, and then your sentries in the pit itself. So if they sentry the pit, that's all well and good. You still have enough ward coverage around the Fire Giant that you can tell what your opponents are doing based on where they're not standing. There's really just an important high-level strategy that is the difference between some of the amateur teams and some of the more professional teams.
Right hand side tier 1 tower does finally go down in favour of Vicious and Delicious. Left hand side grouping coming out from Gypsy Gaming though. They're currently, they're going to get collapsed on the right though, because it looks like Carly gets caught out of position here. Rotated on by the whole team. Some nice poke going down. The pull does not connect. Flawless doing his best to juke out. Even Eonix here with this ultimate, but all the while this is happening, they're still pushing left hand side. They get the tier 1 tower. Can they get a tier 2? Are we going to get a base race?
Oh,
base
please.
Race.
I hope
base
so.
Race, boys. Here we go. Well, no minions right now on the side of Vicious and Delicious. They're just backdooring this, but they've got a full minion wave on the right-hand side. The tier 2 tower drops later. It looks like the Phoenix will go to Vicious and Delicious first. It looks like Gypsy Gaming are giving up the base race. Can they defend is the question.
Well, dashing in is Athena, needs the 2-man taunt, drops the shield wall first. Ionic still immune to the beads. Vishim's gonna dive in, but gets walled off. Jeff Hindler should fall on the back to the Fender. Ionic is gonna go down as well. And now Jeff, this is just sad, man. Just watching Sylvanas die like that is the saddest thing in all of Smite.
Oh, He's dead. Let's just move on, Cret. He is dead, 16 to 14. There's no fire giant available for another minute right now, so Jeff can't steal that one away or take it again. Leave us with nothing to talk about, but that was a good defense from Gypsy. They traded they traded towers. Technically, they took 2 towers down at the same time. 2 towers and lost 1 life.
Well, they're going to get another tower as well, as this is likely going to go down. Oh, badly timed minions there. Just not going to be alive for as long as possible. But Fenrir with his Seething Howl has plenty of damage. Tower dies real quick. Nuwa is also a great tower killer for a mage. Just she has this oddly inflated attack. Well, it's not odd. It makes sense with a kit, but inflated attack speed. She attacks fast than other mages, and when you're a late game mage with 400 magic power, you actually hit a tower pretty hard.
Gypsy Gaming holding on to this one. They're in a better position overall in terms of towers, so objectives on their side. Snoopy actually just rolled in there nearly, realised his mistake very, very quickly and instantly sprinted back out of harm's way one more time. But Fire Giant is flashing now. It's on 4 seconds until we'll see it respawn, and both teams now eyeing up the area, trying to get Sentry War control down to see this one. Who's going to engage and who's going to win the fight?
I think the question is, Kali is at kill potential right now. She's got the chin size to kill people, the Fatalis to stick to people, and the Witchblade to box a little bit better, stick to people a little bit better, and stay alive a little bit longer. The question is, can Kali get on and stay on the target she wants, and who is that target? And that's basically going to be answered entirely by Flawless22. He's got all of the things he needs at his disposal with the beads and with the ultimate, just has to use them at the right time and get into the right position. The biggest thing you can do to help yourself on Kali is to walk into the fight and keep your jump, so you can escape or so you can chase.
Bit of poke damage coming out from both teams. Still fighting over Fire Giant control. Eonic doing the speed buff right about now. He's looking to rotate round if his team needs him to. Meanwhile, though, Apollo is split pushing. Actually, Eonic's going back to base here. Unusually, he's going to have to defend this left-hand lane. I guess that's what he's going back for. But Snoopy's coming over as well. Looks like they're going to send Snoopy to deal with this threat of Apollo split pushing. Meanwhile, the rest of Gypsy grouping around the Fire Giant, trying to get some control, get some deeper wards going down for themselves, as Eonic returns to mid lane now. And it's a bit stale because everyone's waiting for the Fire Giant, and Apollo's too scared to go too aggressive. They're trying to pick Flawless off here on the right-hand side, but at the same time, around the Fire Giant, a bit of contestation.
And Nuwa going up in the air will reveal anyone as Apollo flies over. Target going to be Sasic first. Flawless is peeled off with Jahimla's ultimate. Now Flawless in the mix. Wubba's going to use the Aegis. Well played there. But it's not going to keep him alive completely as Sasic is forced out by Flawless. And Athena ultimate used defensively. Doesn't do too much, just keeps Giliara alive. But Eonic's going up in the air, and they're going to re-engage.
And to be able to take a lot of poke and going to get hit by the dunk. That's going to be the end of him. But Flawless going to go in here and look to do the damage to Eonic. He uses the beast to jump back to hammer immediately. This fight's going well for Vicious and Delicious. The snipes are out for Snoopy. He finds 1, he finds 2. The third connects as well. He's very, very low. He's actually trying to kill the blue buff to get some lifesteal back. Meanwhile, the Splinter Wing comes out from Eonic, trying to focus on Vetium. Vetium does what he can, but he's in a lot of trouble. Kali's in the mix, and there's a big taunt coming out.
Well, that's a really good stun coming out from the Thor. Finds a kill, but dies. And I mean, at least he ulted this time, but it didn't actually do anything. He never dropped to that 1 health marker. Great play coming out from Eonic just to create some room for Kali. And honestly, if that Witchblade was a Magi's Blessing, which Flawless is building into now, that would have been completely different.
So the question is, will they go for the Fire Giant? Fenrir is back in around the area. Eonic's aware of this as well. Water's going to get cleared out by Snoopy in the Fire Giant pit. Jeff Hitler returns to base. Everyone's respawning, and that fight got nobody anything. Actually, that's a lie. Snoopy got right-hand mid-camps because of it.
Yeah, Snoopy! Why do you think his parents named him Snoopy?
They like peanuts?
I prefer cashews. But actually, Snoopy is going to start the Gold Fury. Likely will be able to solo that. And he's hit a very important time in getting that Rage done. He's now a big threat in those team fights. Whereas Vicium is going some weird build.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would go this build. It's
no, that's I agree.
What? You don't agree?
He's got an Executioner. Build? No, that's not my build. He's got an Executioner.
Oh, because he got Executioner. Okay.
Yeah, it's not efficient.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Come on, mathematician boy. Tell us why it's not efficient.
Oh man, I think I talked to some guy about my. Basically, you do 30 more damage against most targets, and lose something like 70 lifesteal. It just doesn't really make sense.
But who needs lifesteal if you're not taking damage? Because at the moment he's across the sky and the Fire Giant's been started up. You can see around the backside you've got Sasic and Ionic waiting. Flawless doing the best to zone out. This is going to be a Fire Giant for Gypsy for free. Nobody's in a position to do anything about this. Jeff Inler's not here. Nuwa ults preemptively before this fight continues. It looks like Gypsy want to fight.
Yeah, and they're going to try and get in. Nice beats from Sasic, but Brutalize coming through, not doing enough damage. Ellis. Flawless is going to dive into the mix. And he's going to be able to get a kill. Hinderman, what's going to happen here?
They're going to continue the push on. Can they find anything more from this? Walking low, Ionic gets it bursted down immediately. And now they're going to be able to continue the pressure onto this one. One person down right now. That's the end of that.
That is the end of that. Fire Giant and a successful team fight. Ionic is falling down, and we've seen the Vicious and Delicious Siege. It's been very, very powerful all game long. How's Gypsy Crew's Siege? What are they going to do here? I feel like their initiation is not nearly as good. They need to rely on the dash taunt from Athena, but how do you get to the target you want?
Oh, left-hand side, though. We're going to see a split push coming out from Flawless here. As the rest of the team group in mid lane, they're going to try and put the pressure there at the same time.
They aren't now in the mid lane. That Phoenix is dead real quick. They want to get the left one as well, and minions are on the way. Rotating around is Penyemba. He needs to keep his Magi's for as long as possible. Oh, loses it there in the miss. Great play from Jeff, but looks like that Phoenix is just going to die as Penyemba dashes in, creating some room. Get the Phoenix disengaged. Great tower killing potential from this Gypsy Crew lineup.
Are Gypsy going to win this one? I mean, this is a big scalp to take. I know it's not a full cognitive team, but it is cognitive and friends. These guys are established players. They're going to Worlds. They're going to Worlds. Like, 3 members of this team are going to Worlds to compete for over $1 million worth of cash. And Gypsy Gaming, relatively unknowns, have come out of nowhere and doing really, really well.
They're doing really, really well. Honestly, their morale is probably really good. Just going into this game, beating the team that beat Complexity, that's gotta feel good.
Already,
that's gotta feel good. And, I mean, just getting to 30 minutes against any team with a cognitive member on it has gotta feel good. So, I think they just could be in good spirits right now. They've got a lot of strength in their composition. They're really hitting their late game. You know, Nuwa was low damage early on, going Divine Rune into cooldown boots, but with Spear, with her minions, and with the Rod of Tahuti now, she's doing a lot more damage. We'll have a Soul Reaver, maybe a Book of Thoth online soon as well, and Fenrir has his crit. It's just, things are looking really good for the Gypsy Crew.
Well, the last hope is for Vicious and Delicious to defend this last Phoenix on the right-hand side. The whole team of Gypsy Crew start to group up on that side. They realise that is the big important factor. They can allow the fire minions to push mid, to push left-hand lane, and that's exactly what they're doing. Someone has to go and defend those. And when they do, expect to see Gypsy Crew go in deep, looking for the end here.
They will be looking for the end, not finding the taunt onto Jeff to remove that bubble, and Gypsy Crew once again has to figure out how to initiate. Ideally, they just kind of let Vicious and Delicious do it off of the split push pressure. We're going to see a little bit of split push Kali here in Flawless 22. I mean, he's a big threat. The Titan is starting to take some damage, hitting about 90%. The right Phoenix is getting low and will go down. Snoopy very low on health, goes up in the air and will be able to buy some time, but it's actually the Ra that's in the most trouble. Will fall to the Kali. Ionic finds too many apples in the back as Snoopy falls as well. Giliara likely will fall to the Thor. Nice jump to get out. Ionic is dead as well. There's only one player alive for Vicious and Delicious, up against 4 from Gypsy Crew, and I don't see a way that Sasic can hold this one off. Gypsy Crew takes the win. Vicious and Delicious, cognitive friends, whatever you want to call them, they will not see the finals today.
Coming out of nowhere, Gypsy Crew take a big scalp. They took a scalp off Blacklisted, who were the team that knocked out Complexity as well. They're having a great day today, and now Cret, they get to go to the finals and face a full rostered Fat Chunks team, I believe it is.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I believe so.
Let's see how good these boys really are. Because right now, Gypsy Crew versus Fat Chunks will be your final. We'll be right back after the break with the picks and bans from that one.